Now let's look at the other things that happened yesterday. Trump is keen to fulfill his key pledge, tackling immigration. The mass deportations have not started yet, but the president is laying the groundwork. He just gave more powers to U.S. immigration authorities. They're now allowed to raid quote-unquote sensitive locations, places like schools, hospitals and churches. They can raid them. Authorities can enter these places to pick up illegal immigrants and then expedite their deportation. This move even drew a reaction from the church, from a bishop in Washington.
They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President.
And what was Trump's response? Well, he put up a post calling the bishop a radical left hardline Trump hater, and then adding that the service was quote-unquote very boring. Clearly, Trump is not going to allow anything to stop him. He has a plan, and at most, it will be delayed, not denied. Take tariffs, for example. Trump had promised to impose new tariffs on day one, 25% on goods from Canada and Mexico and up to 60% on Chinese goods. These new tariffs were not imposed on day one, but they are very much in the pipeline.
We're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
Are you planning on giving notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st.
25% on both, sir?
Sir, on each.
On each.
Trump has issued the tariff notice, and Canada and Mexico have both reacted.
It
is important always to keep a cool head and refer to the decrees signed beyond the speech itself.
Mexico's president downplayed the threat. She asked people to focus on the actual decrees, the ones that Trump has signed, and not on his speech. She wants to avoid confrontation and try and talk things over. Meanwhile, her Canadian counterpart also spoke up. Outgoing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said, and I'm quoting, "If there are unfair tariffs, we will respond robustly and we will be there to support Canadians and protect our interests." Yes, that was Trudeau showing some spine. Easy to do when you're already on your way out. Will Trump admire this newfound backbone, or will he double down on his tariff threat? We'll find out on the 1st of February. And it won't just be Canada and Mexico in the crosshairs. February 1st may also usher in tariffs on China.
We're thinking about that too. We're talking about a tariff of 10% on China based on the fact that they're sending fentanyl to Mexico and Canada.
How soon? How soon on those tariffs?
Probably February 1st is the date we're looking at.
Trump is not thinking about 60% yet, but he is looking to levy 10% tariffs on Chinese goods, again from the 1st of February, and China reacted today.
On this issue, we have repeatedly expressed China's position. We always believe that there are no winners in trade wars and tariff wars. China has always firmly safeguarded its national interests.
Beijing wants to avoid a trade war, but it says it is ready for a fight too. Let's see how that goes in the days to come. And all of this shows that Trump's tariff plan is very much underway. He hasn't changed his mind or given up on this day one priority. There is only one day one promise that seems to be going nowhere. Ending the war in Ukraine, no luck there. Russia and Ukraine are still at it. They're both trying to make gains, both trying to capture more territory before the final buzzer. And that could be close, because Trump just issued a warning.
You've called for a ceasefire in Ukraine. If Vladimir Putin doesn't come to the table to negotiate with you, will you put additional sanctions on Russia?
Sounds likely.
Trump says he's already talking to Zelensky, he's readying himself for talks with Vladimir Putin soon, and new sanctions on Russia are very much on the table. They will be part of Trump's arsenal. Let's see if he resorts to using them. So far, Donald Trump's agenda seems to be on track. He has made headway on a lot of his promises, and he's poised to tackle the Russia-Ukraine headache soon as well. The next few weeks promise to be interesting.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.